a $1,400 fourth stimulus check, and this one including people on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, VA beneficiaries, RRB, people on low income, fixed income, basically everybody right here into the US economy. Government can print the money and they can stimulate the economy via stimulus check, and they will have to strategically manage how much stimulus money they should allocate if they send out too much money. Inflation. Today in this video, I'll be going to discuss all the important details, so let's get right into it. Now, to analyze whether there is a possibility of stimulus checks, there would have to be a massive job loss and much pain in the economy. Elizabeth Warren is expecting 3 billion job losses due to unemployment rate increase, and economic forecasts are suggesting that recession in quarter 3 and quarter 4 will be around the holidays. And you know what, guys, a potential impact of a holiday recession would be onto the stock market bottom. A stock market bottom will leading to a billionaire and top 1% earners benefiting from that important stock market event. Now, you know what, guys, speaking of a potential stimulus check, in order for the stimulus check to be approved, what we need, the important catalyst in passing stimulus check is recession, the condition of the economy, and many other factors. And according to some reports, analysts, economists, also bank CEOs, this year is kind of a reckoning. This means that we are likely going to see another 2000 or 2008 like financial crisis. And honestly, I think we are going to be seeing something this year. It's not just because I want it to be true, because I think it's the most likely scenario given the economic situation. Now, let me explain what I mean. We need to stay informed about all the important details. We need to be prepared what's really going on and what will happen. Now, I'm going to do my best to keep you up to date with the latest information, all the latest news. Now, speaking about the stimulus check and why government should intervene in a potential job loss spiral. Well, we all know that recessions usually cause a drop in the stock market. But if recession has yet to start, then it could be more pain ahead in the stock market. Now, let's say if there is a large wave of joblessness, as many as 3 million people, then it will create a jobless spiral, and this is where the government would need to step in. Now, you see, when one person spends money, it usually circulates through the economy literally 4-5 times. So if let's say 3 million people don't have their income, then it could mean the impact of 12 million people without jobs because the velocity of the money. And that's the reason why government should provide stimulus check to individuals to help them out through the jobless spiral, and this would help out to stop the velocity of the money from declining and help the economy remain somewhat stable, in turn avoiding the deeper recession. And you know what, the simplest and easiest way to stimulate the economy is send out stimulus check. Economy should be stimulated to prevent a jobless spiral. This is one of the way they can do it by increasing the debt ceiling, which will allow them to spend more money. Specifically, they could spend more chip related investment via the CHIPS Act, which was already agreed to spend out about 80 plus billion dollars in chip manufacturing. However, guys, Biden administration has the option to loosely interpret this to allow up to 3 times increase in the spending, and this would allow more money to be invested in the chip manufacturing. In turn, it will create more jobs and preventing the jobless spiral. So that's another solution that they can get away without stimulating. Now, I would like to talk about this important issue, what it could mean for individual people, increasing the debt ceiling and spending more on chip related investment. Well, you know what, this could create more jobs, more opportunities for the people who have found themselves without one due to the velocity of money. And you know what, guys, more jobs means more money being spent, which will help prevent the jobless spiral, and this could mean that more people will have access to higher quality of living since they will be able to pay their basic necessities like food and groceries and necessities. Now, speaking about potential impact of the increased government spending on chip manufacturing and other investments, as we all know that Biden administration has interpreted the stimulus check spending to be 3 times as expensive as thought previously. Now, what if we interpret even more loosely and it will make 4 or even 5 times investment? And this would create jobs by going into the more depth, and this would also likely to help Biden administration to justify the programs that they have already been passed without the help of bipartisan Congress. Another potential outcome is that Congress could work together to expand unemployment protections with work requirements included, and this would create a massive stimulative effect onto economy, even more so than that Biden administration stimulus check. Finally, we should keep our eye on to increase government spending in other areas such as EV, solar, hydroelectric, and other scientific based investments. This could be the start of the new era of the economic prosperity, but you know what? That all depends on the Biden administration and Congress, and it's for them to interpret and implement their plans. Now, as you know, government recently issued $390 billion in stimulus check, and Goldman Sachs estimates that this will likely cost around $1.2 trillion. So now there is a chance that Congress could pass bipartisan bill to increase unemployment compensation and stimulus checks as long as people agree to look for work. Now this would especially help people in the tech sector have an expensive lifestyle and may not covered under the normal unemployment compensation. Another potential option is for the Federal Reserve and Congress to issue straight up stimulus checks. The Federal Reserve could print money into the economic markets and Congress could distribute in the form of stimulus checks. This could help out get more money into the economy get moving once again, get people paying bills, start spending more money, and the possibility of Federal Reserve and Congress issuing a stimulus check again is in light of the current economic situation, as we all know that the United States have experienced a recession in the year 2020, and therefore the possibility of another stimulus check in near future remains to be seen. Now, in the event of another stimulus check, in the event of another recession, basically, the Federal Reserve would likely respond by printing more money. So now the question is, could we see another round of stimulus check? Well, the answer is it's unlikely, but not impossible. It's unlikely that the checks would be as large as the ones we have received in the year 2020, but it's possible that it could be some kind of a one-off stimulus package. In fact, it's almost certain that Biden administration will implement some kind of a stimulus package to help stimulate the economy, and this could mean in the form of increased wages, savings, or even another round of stimulus checks. Now, currently, the Biden administration is trying to combat the recession by pouring money into chip and energy sectors. This could create jobs in those areas to help reduce the unemployment. This is their first implementation. However, some people are concerned that this could lead to more inflation, and to address this one, I want to discuss a transitory inflation, what it looks like. So recently I was looking at the cost of shipping out of China, and it's great example of the transitory inflation. Now, transitory inflation is when prices go up temporarily due to the increase in the demand, but you know what? Eventually they return to the original levels. Now, this is what's happening with the shipping cost right now. Now, transitory inflation is when prices go up temporarily due to increase in the demand, but eventually all these prices will return to their original levels. Now, this is what's happening with the shipping cost right now, and looks like this is an encouraging sign that inflation isn't long-term problem, and the Biden administration can continue to stimulate the economy and bring down the unemployment without fear of long-term inflation. Now, what I mean by this? Well, if you are looking for a job, this could be a great time to get into chip or energy sector, as there should be plenty of opportunities for those willing to work hard. Now guys, speaking of the inflation is when prices of the goods and services increases over time. This is measured by the consumer price index, formerly known as CPI. Now this is what we have. We have been seeing recently that the shipping cost out of China has been increased. This is difficult time to address inflation with stimulus check. You know what? Stimulus check can be used to inject money into economy and push up inflation, but this can also lead to further inflation if they are not used carefully in a calculated manner. Now, to explain this, how government can use stimulus check to address the inflation, well, the first step is to reduce the inflation. This can be easily done by cutting back the government spending and implementing policies that boost the economy. Now, once inflation has been reduced, government then can print money via stimulus check and try to push up inflation once again. Now, however, this should be done in a very projected, calculated manner so that it does not cause further inflation. Alright guys, now to better illustrate this, I will draw a chart, and here you can see now inflation is represented by this red line. Now let's say this red line starts off high with indicating the high inflation, then you know what, it will start dropping once again, indicating a deflation. Now you know what guys, during the period of deflation, government can print the money and they can stimulate the economy via stimulus check. The government can then print money via stimulus check to try push the red line back up like this, and they must make sure that they do in a way that it does not cause further inflation by doing so. Now there is one possibility. As you can see from this chart, the cost of shipping from China has plummeted, and this could be what our inflation should look like. So now it's possible that our inflation could stay higher for a very long period or even look like this. But even if we experience a deep dark period of recession, then it's likely that we'll be right back to the stimulus checks. And guys, this is the reason why I'm excited to share you something else, all the details. So the most important takeaway is they have to strategically manage how much stimulus money they should send. So after sending out a lot of those stimulus check at this point, they will have to strategically manage when they should stop sending out those stimulus check, particularly at this point, so that economy is not overly inflated and inflation should not rise out of the control. And you know what guys, after a period of time, you know what, inflation will dip down so much and there is a possibility that it will climb back up like this. So it's very important for government to do this in a very careful manner so it does not cause further inflation. They can do so by reducing the inflation first and then using stimulus check to push the inflation up again. So this is the strategy they could implement, and government can help stabilize the economy by this manner, by stimulus checks, by sending out stimulus check and not too much over inflating the economy and causing further inflation. So this is kind of a sweet spot they have to manage, and they will have to strategically manage how much stimulus money they should allocate, how much money they should send out into the economy to stimulate it. And you know what, if they send out too much money, you know what, inflation will plummet down even lower than this graph where I can show you. And you know what, at this point government need to stop sending out stimulus check, and basically after the dust settles back down, you know what, inflation will again climb back and probably stabilize the economy at some point. Hope this example got you better understanding whether you should expect stimulus check or not. But let me tell you guys, at this point in time, no stimulus check on a federal level, port stimulus check has not been approved in any dollar value. So make sure you note this fact. Once I get any latest details, I will keep you posted. So guys, make sure to hit that like, share this video, subscribe to our channel, and this is Kedar from How to Guys. See you in the next video.